What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. Thanks for pressing play. We are going to be doing some reviewing of a 2026 car today. The C8 Corvette Z06, 2026 interior. We're going to be going over all that. But before we do, I want to show you something. And that is this. Stingray. The Z06 we'll be looking at in a second. My Z06. Another subscriber's Z06. Really cool spec there too. Black with the black and red stripes. Look at that though. Can you picture anything more beautiful? So really cool lineup. I thought that was pretty neat. This is obviously the 2026. This is Sebring Orange. It's a Z07 package car with the orange calipers. Of course, carbon ceramic rotors. And it is a convertible. So it does have the painted nacelles up here in carbon flash. It has the Z07 wing and everything, of course. But what I thought was really interesting is the fact that this particular guy, who is also a subscriber of the channel, yeah, those are full-length RSC side skirts. Those are carbon fiber RSC air intake trim pieces. And yes, RSC diffuser. This guy knows how to spec a car. I like it. So anyway, guys, like I said, it's a 26, and I want to check out this new interior. So right off the bat, we can see he has the carbon fiber hood, which that actually looks really cool. I really like that a lot. It is a 3LZ. Obviously, he's got the carbon fiber steering wheel and the orange center line there. Really cool color on the interior here. This is the sky cool gray combination with the orange and everything, with the orange stitching. It's really an interesting look. Let's get in and check it out. So this is a Corvette museum delivery of a 2026, and the first thing this guy does is he brings it to blackout tinting. He knows what's up. Like I said, guys, he is a subscriber of the channel. I'm checking out his car, and I gotta say, I love the spec, man. Good call here. So obviously level 2 carbon stealth package. He's got the orange stitching going on here, which is really cool. This is a really neat color on the interior. Since the exterior of the car is orange, the white kind of goes with it. It's that whole creamsicle look. I like it a lot. And when I said brand new, I mean brand new. 7 miles on this baby. But anyway, here we are. Level 2 carbon. The new 2026 interior. Little screen there. The new center screen. And even the new infotainment system screen. All really neat looking, in my opinion. I think the new electronics look pretty good on the interior. Very fitting of the C8 in general. Obviously, we still have our stitched airbag here with the orange stitching, with the carbon fiber bottom and top, and of course, Z06 badge right here. Orange center line right there. And the interesting part for me is, because this is the 2026, we have the new center console area with the exposed cup holders, but this is one of the first ones I've seen with the exposed carbon fiber to go with it. So this is obviously, like I said, the level 2 package to kind of wrap around all the new 2026 stuff, and it's pretty interesting. We got our grab handle up here, which also continues that carbon fiber on it, and then over here the carbon fiber actually does wrap all the way around, so the hood all the way down around the side here, and then even onto the bottom of the speedometer area. So really interesting stuff. I really like whenever companies like this do like a tech update. We got to play with this screen at Carlisle and actually talk to Trevor, one of the engineers over at GM, about it and about all the differences and some of the things that they changed. This system definitely responds a lot better to your input, like touches and things like that. It's definitely quicker, which is needed in my opinion. Real quick before we continue, we're going to talk about the sponsor of today's video, and that is going to be GOOLOO. We have talked about their products in the past, but today this is an OBDII port reader that will allow a lot more functionality than your typical OBDII port reader. How so? Let's talk about it. First things first, let's go ahead and plug it into the OBDII port. Once it's plugged in, you'll see it turns on green. Once we get the phone connected to it, it will light up blue to let you know it's connected. And then I'm going to show you what makes this thing different than all the other OBDII port readers out there. So once it connects to the phone, you can see there it turns blue. Now we're good to go. And it's going to pop up on the phone and ask you if you're okay with the communication there. We're going to go ahead and hit confirm. Then it's going to open up the app if you have it downloaded, which if you don't, the instructions will show you how to do so. It is powered by GOOLOO, of course. And this is where the differences exist. So why this is different than your typical OBDII port reader is that this one is bidirectional. Now you're probably asking yourselves, what does that mean, Justin? Well, bidirectional will allow you a lot more control over your car. So instead of just being able to read check engine lights or clear them, this is also going to give you the ability to communicate back to your car as well. And that's going to allow you to do things like activate the ABS pump, which will allow you to bleed the brakes way more easily than without it. It literally activates the pump and pushes the brake fluid through. It will also allow you to do a lot of the things that you would typically need to go to the dealership for. So one of them will be to allow the car to actually run that transmission mode. If you feel like you have to do that, it will run the transmission at 5,000 RPM without the tires actually moving to then allow you to change the filter afterwards. You can do that all from this OBDII port reader. There is a vehicle performance aspect to this where you can actually measure your quarter mile, 1,000 foot times, all kinds of stuff on the app itself. So separate from your dashboard or PDR, you can actually do it right here on the app. As you can see here at the bottom, it says maintenance. You can go through a couple different options here, but let's just select oil for giggles. It's going to allow you to go ahead and select what kind of car you have. Obviously, I have Chevrolet downloaded here, and it's going to then go through the information to actually make sure that it's looking at the right vehicle. So we're going to go ahead and hit automatic, and I am in the on position here. From here, it's going to want to get your VIN number. You can either put it in or tap read to acquire it. I'll go ahead and hit read down at the bottom of the screen, and it should be able to read and get my VIN right in there automatically. And there it is. So we would just hit confirm, and then we're going to be able to get into a lot of the really cool settings we've been talking about. Once you get in here, you can actually see up at the top, you can actually hit oil reset. And if you do that and then hit confirm, it will actually reset the oil life on your car. Now, obviously you can do that straight from the car, but this is one of those bi-directional commands that you could do using this device now. And as I said, guys, the Bluetooth functionality of this OBDII port reader is good for an Android device or an iPhone device. So either one of the two you have, you will be able to use that device in any car you have as long as it's an OBDII port car. So let's go to throttle, try this one out. Again, we'll hit automatic, and again, it's going to want to read the VIN. We can hit throttle adaptation, and basically it's going to force the ECM to relearn the throttle position and everything. This is stuff you can't do with a regular OBDII port reader. You need a bi-directional device for this. Now, why this device is cool for that reason is in order to do a lot of these bi-directional things, you typically have to buy a $400 or $500 device to do it. With this, you need that, which is $60 minus 10% off just for watching this video. It's much cheaper, much smaller, much more compact and easy to carry with you, and you can do all the same stuff. Check out the link in the description down below. One thing I did notice pretty much right off the bat is that the hood here, even though the hood is carbon fiber there on the top, it's also flatter. It seems like it doesn't bump up as much as the 2025 or older cars do. So this is definitely a flatter look. I would imagine this had something to do with increasing visibility out over the actual front hood, but yeah, I like it. So let's go ahead, press and hold the start button here and fire this thing up. And as it comes to life, you can definitely tell this is a little bit different than your 2025 or older. We got a little bit of a different setup here. Now, right now, this is in Tour mode, so that's what you would get on your Tour setup. Still very digital, no analog gauges or anything, but we have that as well as our touch screen over here for all of your traction control, alarm systems, all that good stuff. But let's focus here for a second because this is the new infotainment system, which again, we went over a lot of this stuff at Carlisle with Trevor, but it's interesting to see this in a more production style. So obviously right below here is your new row of buttons. So this is for increasing and decreasing the temperature on each side. And then of course you got your power button and all of your other HVAC controls there. Here is the new wireless charger. So yeah, let's see how it works here. Slide this right underneath there. And it is charging. My phone doesn't show that it is, but it popped up here to tell me that it is charging. And that's interesting because it's in there pretty good. It slides underneath that little hood under there to hold it in place. You can see this is the hood, kind of holds the phone down. So definitely interesting there. We may actually have a useful phone charger. Now, since this is a 3LZ, we also still get the charger back here between the seats. So you technically have 2 wireless chargers at this point, which is pretty neat. But anyway, this is the new infotainment system. And like I said before, much faster, much more responsive. So let's just fly through a couple things here. If I wanted to go and change some settings, bam, we're in settings. Vehicle, audio, equalizer, fade and balance, you know, move that all around. I don't want to disrupt the settings in here too much, so let's leave it where it was. But my point is, I mean, just look at how much better that responds. Really, really a nice update here. So then we can just go back home. Really not bad at all. A lot of the same HVAC controls that are available in the buttons down here are also available on the bottom of the screen here. So you got your cooled seat, heated seat, AC, where the air is blowing basically, return on the car, all this stuff right here. So that just kind of turned it on. Now we'd hit this button to kind of turn it down, and you can see it change down there at the bottom. Whenever I press the button, you can see it change at the bottom. Interesting. So we'll go ahead and turn that off for now. But ultimately, that's what we're looking at here. So we go into performance. We get all of the 0 to 60 times, all that stuff in here. Really, again, pretty interesting set of graphs and everything. And again, very, 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 very responsive. It pops through these things really quickly. So music, of course, we're going to have kind of the same setup here. A lot of this is the same. It's just much faster now. So like this is actually Google Maps here, and again you can see just super responsive, drag and drop. I mean, look at that. There's almost no lag to that at all. It's a lot like having an actual cell phone, which is fantastic. So I like what they did. Let's see if the cameras will work here. Yep, so there's our front camera, back camera. Of course, we're here at blackout tinting. This car is waiting to get some PPF and some ceramic coating, but all the same kind of things. And again, immediate response. So really, really like the way that they did this. And obviously the screen's bigger too, so a little bit more fitting of a $100,000 plus car. Now moving over here to the center area where, you know, this is the majority of what you're going to be looking at most of the time. Where we change the modes now is no longer up here. Obviously there's no wheel to change that stuff. It's down here now. And this is where a couple things are housed. If you guys haven't seen this stuff yet, this is the front camera. So if I press that button, it's immediately going to put the camera up on the screen. And right down below that is your toggle for the mode. So if we hit up, we're going to toggle into weather mode. So you can see the new animation for that. That's pretty cool. And then again, we'll toggle down this time to go to the next mode, which will be my mode. Again, cool little animation here. Toggle down again, should go to tour. Toggle down again, we'll go to sport. And now sport is the first one. It also changes your speedometer area as well. So again, if we go back to tour and then back to sport, kind of cool. It like fades in, gives you a little bit more information, a little bit more red. And then we'll toggle one more time to get into track. And of course we get the animation there, and then also the new track look, which of course still has that like hockey blade RPM setup. Gives you right off the bat some more view of your tire pressure and stuff like that, which you can also change all this stuff. And one of the places you can really start to see just how responsive this stuff is over on this new touch screen. So we can change the mode here from Tour, Sport, Track, which will affect that screen right there. But watch how quick this responds. So I'll press Tour, Sport, Track. Look how much faster that is. I mean, number one, this registers your touch basically immediately, and then as I'm touching it, that screen is changing almost immediately. So really, really much faster electronics in here. And again, if we want to go back to the main screen here, you can go into performance, which of course is going to show you like your oil temperature, trans temperature, all that good stuff. Again, go back here, go into trip, you can reset the trip, all that good stuff. Down at the bottom, you have your lane assistance. You can turn that on or off. Normally, the car's not started, so we're not going to be able to do that. And then, of course, your heads-up display, which will change what we're seeing up there. You can either link it to the drive modes like normally, or you can change it separately. So, lots of information to be done right from the little touch screen here. But for the time being, let's go ahead and start this up so we don't kill anybody's battery. So let's go ahead. That's a cold start on 2026. How about that? Sounds pretty good. So anyway, let's go back in here and go to layout, make sure that that's in sport. That's kind of where I like it to be. Put this wheel up a little bit so we can see a little bit better. And then of course, that's pretty much the 2026 layout. I mean, the only difference really other than that is down here, if we can see, we do have traction performance buttons as well as the launch control button. So if you press that launch control button, all of the information for that should be put right there on the screen. It's going to allow you to change at what RPM and everything that you're launching this thing, but I love the fact that the launch is a rocket. I think that's freaking awesome. And then again, over on the left hand side here, we do have the PTM modes, and of course you can go through all of the PTM modes really easily and quickly over here. Much faster doing it this way than it has been in the previous years where you had to go through all the modes with the wheel over here. Plus everything responding quicker like it does in this setup. Really a nice addition to the C8 Corvette. I mean, look at that. I really like it. And I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'm a big fan of the interiors on the 25 and older as well. I really don't think you can go wrong with the interior on any one of these cars. I think they're really nicely done. I think GM did a great job of updating the interior without losing the C8 Corvette presence or the nostalgia, we'll say at this point. I really like what we got here. The information that's able to be viewed at an instant, the slight updates that still maintain the same kind of feel and look of a C8 Corvette. And then of course, some of the new stuff. I mean, getting the carbon fiber hood up here that looks really phenomenal with the carbon fiber steering wheel and the level 2 carbon with the exposed cup holders here, which some people love, some people hate. I think it's really a cool look. Now, on top of all that, if we do turn on the headlights, I believe we get some lighting in these cup holders too. And it's hard to see, but it is on. It's up underneath this ring here. These light up at night. So really an interesting look. Much more almost luxurious, we'll say. If you haven't seen the 2026 interior in person yet, you can tell from sitting on the driver's side here that this area has been cut down quite a bit. So there's not as much of a separation from the passenger to the driver as there has been in the past. So this in the past started up here and kind of came down a little bit steeper. This is much cut down, and now you get that grab handle as the passenger. You got something to hold on to when your driver is going a little too crazy with these new performance traction modes. So really cool, guys. I'm pretty excited about the idea of having that in a ZR1. My ZR1 will obviously be a 2026, so it's going to have the same kind of interior. It's going to feel a little bit new compared to the previous 2023 and the 2025 Z06 I have, having basically the same interior. So I'm glad to see GM changing it up a little bit and using that time to also update the technology so it's a little bit faster as well. So hopefully this helps you out a little bit, guys. I think for those of you who haven't gotten to see a 2026 yet in person, I really think this is a pretty nice step in the right direction. And like I said, it doesn't totally throw the 25s and older under the bus as far as being old or outdated now. So yeah, I like it. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. So if you liked what you saw, smash the thumbs up button. Let me know you're liking the content. Big thank you to Matt, who owns the car. He is a subscriber, like I said, and yeah, I mean, we sat in his brand new car for a hot minute before it got some PPF. It is getting all done here at Blackout Tinting. If you guys are interested in any kind of PPF or ceramic coating on your brand new Corvette, you can always send it to the shop in Florida, which is in the Hollywood, Fort Lauderdale area. That's the shop I co-own. Or you can bring it up here to Pennsylvania. We got a couple different shops now, and regardless of where you send it, you're going to get an awesome price. You're going to get an awesome job. If wherever you go with it, just let them know that Horsepower Obsessed sent you, and we will make sure you are taken care of. Anyway, guys, smash the thumbs up button if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and as always, stay obsessed.